All right, so we are going to do crop circle design 2 together. And then on the back, some of you have design 3, some of you have design 4, and you can work on that in groups afterwards. But for now, work with me. Make sure you have a ruler handy and a colored pencil. And if you want a compass, all right, if you want to use a compass and make perfect circles, that's fine. If you want to sort of just freehand them for today, that is fine. On your project, you cannot sort of freehand your circles. They need to be perfectly done with a compass or printed on Desmos, either way. We'll talk about that more. All right, so here in what you did before, the circles were already there for you and you just had to do the shading. Now we're kind of ramping it up a bit that you have to draw the circle from the equation. And from your work yesterday, I'm hoping that this is not going to be too tricky recognizing how to graph these circles. Okay, so please put your name on this. There's not a name spot there, all right? And I've just gone ahead and sort of split it up a little bit here so I can fit everything on the screen so you can see it. All right, so the first thing I want you to do actually is grab a ruler and just draw an x-axis and a y-axis on here. That will help you with finding where these circles go. All right, so go ahead and pause the video if you need to do that. All right, so for each of these circles, okay, I'm hoping that you recognize from your quizzes lesson that in order to graph them, you need to know two things, the vertex and the radius. And it's not tricky to find. The equation of a circle is this, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So you can basically read the vertex from your h and k values and read the radius from this r squared. So if we look at this one, okay, the vertex should be -5, +1. They're opposites because there's subtraction here. Okay, and the radius, be careful, the radius is not 16, the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. All right, so go ahead and just pause the video, and I want you to write down the vertex for each of the remaining circles and the radius, please. All right, so B, you should notice, has the same vertex as A. Okay, and that means we're going to have, well, and it has a smaller radius, 3. So that means we're going to have concentric circles, circles that share a center but have different radius. Right? C is centered at 6 and -4 and has a radius of 1. Remember, the square root of 1 is 1. And D has a center at 3 and -1 and a radius of 2. Okay. Now, like I said, if you want to kind of just freehand your circles as best you can from the vertex and the radius, that's fine for today. Okay, so let's start with A. So we're going to plot the vertex at -5 and +1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Right there, sorry. Okay, and I sort of cheated. I went ahead and pre-made my circles the right size here because I don't want to have to try and do it under pressure while I'm recording. Okay, so there it is there. All right, you can, like I said, you can use a compass, or if you just want to kind of freehand it, as long as the center is the correct spot and the radius is correct. Okay, it's okay if it's not perfectly round for today. All right, so let's look at the shading here. All right, we're going to shade counterclockwise from 3/4 pi to 3 pi over 2. All right, so let's have a look here. 3 pi over 4, okay, that would be 3/4 of the way from 0 to 180. So that would be right up there. Okay, and go ahead and label these points. So that's 3 pi over 4, okay, to 3 pi over 2, okay. So that would be, this is 1/2 pi, 1 pi, this is 3 pi over 2 down here. Okay, and we're going to start at 3 pi over 4 and go counterclockwise, which would be backwards the way the clock goes this way. So if we shade this, okay, you can grab a colored pencil, and I guess I'm shading in pink right now. Okay, it's kind of hard to shade on the whiteboard, but all right, something like that. Okay. All right, now let's look at circle B. It has the same center, but a smaller radius, a radius only of 3. So I'm going to drag that down right here. Okay, and it might be a good idea, yeah, just for a little bit of reference, to mark your 0 and your pi, just so you can kind of see on this circle, especially once you get it kind of superimposed on this circle here. We're going to shade counterclockwise from 5 pi over 6. So if you think about where 5 pi over 6 is, it's going to be most of the way over to pi. Okay, kind of something like that. 5 out of 6 parts of the way from 0 to pi. And 5 pi over 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pi over 4 here, so 1 more right there. All right, And we're going to go again counterclockwise. Okay, from there to there. Right, now if you look what it says we're going to shade that and then we're going to unshade the overlap with circle A. Right, now this whole section right here overlaps with circle A. So they're really asking you to kind of like put a hole in it here. So you can either erase, that's kind of tricky for me to do. So what I'm going to do, and you're welcome to do this too, is just use a different color. Okay, so I'm going to switch to yellow there and just kind of highlight that section in a different color. Oops. Okay, or if you want to erase and kind of have a little hole in your shading, that works too. Okay, so you're going to have something that looks like that. Good. All right, let's have a look now at circle C. So circle C is centered at 6 and -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Right there. Okay, and it's the little one, the one that has only a radius of 1, so quite small. Okay, so it's going to go right there. And let's look at the shading here. Okay, so clockwise from 60 degrees to -60 degrees. All right. So again, if you want to mark kind of your 0 and your 180, that sort of helps. So 60, positive 60 is going to be right there. Okay, at -60, you just start and you go that much in this direction. So there's -60 degrees. Okay, in which direction are we shading? Clockwise. Okay, that's the way the clock goes, like that. So we're going to shade that smaller section there. Okay, a third of the pizza. All right, then we have actually another thing here, counterclockwise from 150 to 210. So if we think about where 150 is, well, this is 180, so 150 is going to be about right there. Okay, and if this is 180, 210 is going to be 30 degrees past there. We're going to start at 150 and go counterclockwise backwards from the way the clock goes. All right, so we're going to do this. So remember what we said about crop circles in the beginning, that these are things that as far either aliens are making, in which case, you know, they can probably do whatever they want as fast as they want. But the most likely explanation is that these are some sort of like nerdy math vandals that are going into fields and doing this. But these are really quite intricate. So if you imagine trying to do this in the dark with nobody seeing and making them as intricate and as beautiful as they are, it's really quite a feat. All right, let's look at the last one. So the last one is circled at 3 and -1. Oops. So right there. Okay, I'm going to grab my circle and bring it over here. Okay, it has a radius of 2. All right, and we need to shade from 11 pi over 6. So again, mark here and here. Okay, so from here to here is 1 pi or 6 pi over 6. So if you think where 11 pi over 6 is, it's almost over here. There's going to be 12 pi over 6 all the way around. You know, I got my markings a little bit in the way here. All right, and then where is 7 pi over 4? Okay, so remember this is 1 pi or 4 pi over 4. So 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. So we actually have quite a small angle here. Okay, we're starting at this one and going counterclockwise, so we're actually going backwards, which means almost all of this circle is going to be shaded except for a little sliver of it. Okay, so important to note the direction that you're supposed to go. All right, kind of looks like Pac-Man there, eating something, eating a wagon wheel. All right, so this is, you know, the math isn't difficult, but you do have to really stop and think about a lot of the things. Where is the center of the circle? What's the radius? Where do I start? Where do I stop? Which direction am I going? All right, so it's an excellent practice for really getting familiar with the unit circle. So what I want you to do is turn over to the back, all right? Find the people that have the same design as you, and I want you to get together and work on this and see if you can get it graphed and colored. I want everybody has to write on their own paper and upload their own picture by the start of class tomorrow.